Hello guys, welcome back to my programming series. My name is Mike Mathuke, and today we'll be looking at arrays, or as known in Python, lists. So what are arrays? Arrays are basically a way to store multiple values in a single variable. So just dive right into the code so that you can see what this means, right? So here we have in Python, where the arrays are called lists. So I'll start with the naming as usual. So what you'll do for a list, you'll declare using these square brackets, and then you'll have whatever number of variables you want. So for this, I'll just declare a couple of integers, okay? And then now this is what we call an array, or a list as named in Python. And then these elements, or rather these values, are separated by commas, as you can see. So here we have 1, which will be our first value, and then we separate it using a comma. And then we have 2 as the second value, then we separate using a comma, and so on and so forth. So if we want to get the first value of the array, we'll get it using, so we reference the variable, first of all, which is A, and then using square brackets, we denote the index of that element. So the index will always start with 0. It will not start with 1. Please note that. It will always start with 0. So that we say, give me the first value of this array. So if I run this, we get our value 1. So what if I want to do, let's say, the third value, right? So we have 4. So this is actually the fourth value. So remember again, we only start from index 0. So when you're trying to access the fourth value, our index will be 3, not 4, because you're starting from the index 0. So that's something that you need to note as you're doing your coding. So if in this case we actually wanted to access the third value, then we would put 2, okay? And there we go, we get our value 3. So the value of this list at index 2 is 3. So for Python, we also have a handy way of doing things. We can also get values from the last value using negative. So for example, if I put -1, that means I'm getting the last value of this variable, which is 5. If I put -2, I'm saying the second last value, which is 4. So that's one nifty way of doing things when it comes to arrays in Python. Now, when it comes to arrays in C++, we just switch it up. So in C++, as you remember, we always have to declare with the exact variable type. So let's say we want to store integers just like before, but this time we have to specify the size of the array itself. So for C++, our arrays have a specific size. So if I put A4 here, that's basically saying I want an array of integers which has only 4 values. And so when I put the values, this time I'll use curly braces. So let me just do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then close it out. And then when it comes to accessing it, back to our printf statement, we shall use set d. So I'll still access it the same way as I did in Python, using our square brackets and the index, which will always start with 0. So if I run this, then we have our value 1. Okay. If I use 3, for example, then to give me the value 4, because this is the fourth value, our index would be 3, right? So that is all when it comes to arrays. So in C++, our arrays are having a fixed size. They don't have a variable size. The other thing that we need to know as well, sometimes we may need to know the size of our array. So let me first do that in Python. In Python, when you do len, there's a function called len, and then you give it the object. So when you do len of, basically len is short form for length. The length of our array, we have 5, which is the number of variables that we have. When we want to do the same in C++, so in C++, unfortunately, it's not something direct. We have a function called size of. However, it returns the size in terms of bytes. Okay, so size of A will return the number of bytes of this variable, right? So as you can see, the value was 4. It was 16, which is not exactly the size of what you have here. But if you do size of this, divide by size of integer, because here we have integers, then it will be able to give you the exact size. So you can see here we get 4, which is the actual size of the array. So that's something that you need to note whenever you're looking at the size of a variable whenever you're using this size of function in C++, it will check the number of bytes, not necessarily the size of the exact item that you have, which in this case for us is an array. Okay. So that is all when it comes to arrays. So this was just a brief introduction of the basic array. We'll be looking at loops in the next lesson. That's why you needed to introduce these arrays first, because they come in handy. The arrays come in handy whenever we're doing the loops. So I hope you've gotten to learn something. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.